Well, welcome everybody to week 3 of our February online program for the alumni of the Sunshine Coast Health Center. And February's theme is how to live comfortably in the gray areas of life. In those times when there's no quick answer, no easy solution, you're left in limbo. And how do you deal with this if you're used to feeling this need to control? So last week we gave you one technique, and the technique is like to step back and get some distance and ask yourself, well, how important is this really? Okay, and this week we'll give you another technique, and this one is to ask yourself just how you're making sense of the situation. So you got the situation that's really frustrating you, and you will make sense of it in a certain way, and then ask yourself if the way you're making sense of it is like reality. Okay, so here are some examples. These are real examples too, by the way. So I remember this client came to me and he was all bent out of shape and all frustrated because he just found out that his car needed a couple of $1,000s worth of repairs, right? And he's all angry, and at any rate, I talked to him and then asked him my usual question, well, how do you make sense of this? And finally, after a while, we got to the answer, and he actually thought he was living under this big black cloud. Somehow God had singled him out for punishment. So we worked on that, and basically I would ask him, well, what makes you so special that God would spend all his energy picking on you, right? That kind of thing, right? But he had made sense of that his whole life had been filled with bad luck. And this is just one more example of that. But, how real is that? How true is that, right? Maybe the bad luck comes more from the fact that the car is like 10 years old and he really hadn't kept it in shape. And maybe that is a little more real than thinking that God is singling him out for punishment, right? Or another example is, somebody gets on the phone, right, and get on a big argument with his partner, and the partner slams the phone down, and then I'll ask him, well, what's going on? How do you make sense of this? Oh, she doesn't care about me anymore. She tells me, we're supposed to be married, but she doesn't even give a thought to me anymore. And then we usually chat, and I would bring up the fact that, well, actually, it sounds like you were talking to her. Do you think if she didn't care, if you'd even bother talking to you, right? Things like that, right? So this technique is more just think about this. When you step back and get some distance from whatever's frustrating you, whatever the situation is, think about, is the way you are making sense of what's going on, is that matching reality? Okay, so that's technique number 2. Anyway, next week we'll come back and give you some more things to think about on how to live comfortably in the gray area of life. So, see you then.